Hello, welcome back to the channel. Now you join me quite some time later. When it comes to the Volvo XC60, I'll put a link to the previous video, which is where we were identifying what could be a boost sensor fault. And you can see I've got a new Bosch sensor to put in. Let's put it in, reset the codes, and hopefully that clears the problem. Now I'm hoping this is going to be a reasonably easy fix on our XC60. Like I say, we have a boost sensor. Now interestingly, there's a few versions of this sensor, but the codes are all pretty much matching, so I'm hoping this is going to be the right sensor for the job. If you remember, let's just take you and show you where we're working. So this is not the sensor that's on the top, this is the sensor that lives down here. So what I'm going to do is get the airbox off, get the engine cover off, and get it replacing this sensor. That's a reasonably straightforward job, and then the tricky bit is the sensor lives down here, so using a set of extensions, hopefully going to get at it. I'll try and show you it. Now where we're going is right down the bottom of there, just about where my torch is pointed is where the sensor, and it's got a single hex fitting on it, so I'm going to use a set of extensions and get down there. Let's see what I'm doing here. Long extension. What size is this? This is a TX25. And there we go. There is no way the camera can see this. I'll try and take you in and show you whilst I've got it like this. There you can see the torques just on the end and the sensor just there. So let's just undo this. I'll reach down and grab the little torques out. Actually, I might use the magnet to grab it. That was probably a better idea. There it is. A little torque screw sits down there. So now I've got the sensor released. I'm hoping I can lift it out with the connector still attached. So I'm going to reach in and try that now. Okay. There we go. There's our sensor. And that's as far up as it comes by the looks of it, because of the wiring loom. So I'm going to press the clip, and it's disconnected. These connectors are sometimes on quite tough. You have to press and lift it out. Here we go. So here's our old sensor. Now what I was saying earlier about the sensor code, I'll put a close-up version of this. So this is an 023600230294, and you see it's got an angled connector like this. So there are several versions of this. Now the one I've got is an 0261230293, which is supposed to be a match for the part. So let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. Now it does look exactly the same. It has that movement in it. Now obviously this is a genuine Volvo. That would suggest this has been on the car since new. This one is a Bosch sensor, so that should be compatible, should be exactly the same in fact. Actually there's our little white dot that I mentioned on the previous video as well. And you can see part wise, shape, it's the same. We've got the same notch, we've got the same position for the little Torx to hold it in place, so that looks good news. So I'm going to connect that back up, because I think put the connector on first, it seems the way to go. Push that in until it clicks. There we go, that's clicked in, and now we can just gently push the connector, push the sensor into place, hopefully. So I'll try and get you a shot so you can see it, and we'll try that. This is very fiddly, trying to do this. Again, I'm not sure the camera's actually going to see where I'm pointing at here. But down the bottom there, you can see the sensor. And you can see the Torx. Now I again used a magnet to get the Torx down there and on top of it, and I think that's now in. Not too tight, it doesn't need to be that tight. So now we can put things back together and clear the codes. Engine cover back on. Let's go in, clear the codes, and let's see if the code comes back. Hopefully not. You've seen me do this plenty of times with my iCar Soft, so I'm not going to bore you with it again. I'm just going to go in, clear the codes, and then we can check for them again. By the way, some people have asked, no, my videos aren't sponsored by iCar Soft. I did buy this myself. There is a review video on the iCar Soft on the channel. I'll put a link down the bottom there in case you want to use something similar to this. It's a great little tool. It works on all of our cars, and it gets you into the enhanced manufacturer codes. You can do DPF regen. You can use it to, in this car's case where it's got an electronic handbrake, you can use it to do the wind back as well for changing discs and pads. So here you go. Right, that's all the codes erased. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the car, I'm going to take it for a little drive, and let's see what happens, and we'll plug it back in and check for codes afterwards. A little while later, and I've taken it for a run. It seemed to run okay, but again it's quite difficult to tell, so I'm going to plug the scanner in and let's see whether we've got any fault codes showing up, shall we? It's also got very warm here in the UK. Finally, we've got summer turning up, which is nice. Let me just go into the scanner and choose Volvo. And I'll go in and I'll have a look at the codes. It's just busy scanning its way through. Now I did notice ECM, which is the engine control module, showed a pass this time, which is good. So at least the code hasn't immediately come back. Now whether it'll come back when the car's under load or not, I'm not quite sure. I did a reasonable journey up and down a few hills and things, but only time will tell really. I'm just waiting for the scanner to finish, and then I'll go into ECM and let's have a look and see if we've got any codes pending. So there's engine control module. If I go into read fault codes, that's a good sign. Not sure if you can see it. No fault found. So fingers crossed that's worked. I'm going to leave the video at that. If I do have any problems, I'll put a comment down the bottom there, let you know. But hopefully this is a fix to that fault code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the parts I've used down the bottom as well, that Bosch replacement sensor. Even though it's a slightly different code, it still does the same job, so that should solve that problem. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Pop a thumbs up, a like, and also subscribe for more content, and I'll be back very soon.